Today is Saturday, October 10th, 2015. We are conducting this interview at the Berkshire Museum in Pittsfield, Mass. Could you state your name and your birthday?
My name is Jerry Rudd. My birth date is 1/31/42.
So where were you born?
I was born in Pittsfield many years ago, and lived in Pittsfield for the first 15 years of my life, and graduated from Pittsfield High in 1960, and went to work for Crane & Company for about a year and a half in their converting operation to earn some money to go to school. And later, I went to a 2-year college up in Upper New York State called Paul Smith's College. It was a forestry school. Spent 2 years up there. Transferred. I ended up with an Associate of Arts degree. And my wife then, or not then, but soon to be, really thought we were going to live in a tree someplace at a forestry school. So I ended up with an Associate Art degree, a lot of classes in science, and I moved to AIC in Springfield and got a two-year degree, or my 4-year degree, a BS in Industrial Management. And then I started my career with Crane & Company. That was in 1965. So I had some broken service in between.
Tell me about how you got into your line of work.
Well, I really, when I came out of college, Crane offered me a job on a manufacturing training program. My father worked for the company then. My father retired after 47 years, and my grandfather retired after 52 years. So it's in our blood, so to speak. So I went through a 2-year manufacturing program where, at that time, they would basically, you'd work swing shift. You'd work 7 to 3, 3 to 11, 11 to 7. And they'd actually take a person out of a job and you'd do it. And I did this through the 6 plants that we had on the stream for 2 years. Then I went into service for 6 months, Coast Guard. Came back, and they offered me a job in basically the kind of inventory control for a short period of time, and then I moved into the procurement side of the business, the purchasing side of the business, and that's where pretty much I stayed through the rest of my career, in the procurement side of the business. Worked my way through the organization that way. So it's been interesting. So I have over 51 years, well, close to 50 years, a little over 50 years of total service with the company. Long time.
Did you like your job?
I love my job. It was special for me. I ended up, my final job beginning in, 1990. I worked my way through the organizations, all the buying chairs. Buying chairs, I mean by all things like buying chemicals, supplies, took over freight, incoming freight, logistics. In 1970, Ben Sullivan was president of the company. I took about a 9-month period, and I learned all about corporate insurance. I became in charge of all the corporate insurance during that time period. But I worked through all the buying chairs, stationary buying chairs. All the divisions basically had buyers, did various things. So I worked my way all through those chairs, became assistant purchasing manager in probably the 80s. And then I became purchasing manager in about 1992, took over the department. And then Lansing Crane came into the business around 1995, and I was promoted to general manager of global sourcing. At that time, we were in the process of looking to grow our currency business, and this is when we basically got involved with our operation in Sweden later in 1995. And I worked with him directly, for Lansing directly. It was a major influence on me. So I spent a lot of time on the road traveling. The heartbeat of the company is our raw materials, what we use in the paper. That's the key to our business. And so my really focus for my last 19 years was in those markets, traveling globally, all over. Some good places, some bad places.
So what exactly was it about your job that made you like it so much?
Well, I loved every day. It was a challenge. I love people. My father was general manager of Wacona Mill when Donnie started in 1974. He took over that mill, and he had worked his way through the organization. He didn't have a college education, but he worked his way up through the organization. So he was a strong, strong influence on me. But I enjoyed the travel, I enjoyed the markets, I enjoyed people. Most of the businesses that we deal with on the raw material side are small family businesses all over the world. So I enjoyed that. Setting up operations and doing things globally was special for me. I really enjoyed it.
Do you have any favorite stories from your work life?
Well, I have one. In December of 2013, I got a call from the Washington Post, and they wanted to do a story on what we used to use a lot of denim scraps in our paper. For many years, we used millions of pounds of denim scraps, and they were all 100% cotton. But in the 1990s, everybody wanted the slim fit, so they got into Lycra and spandex, which ruined our market, the whole market. We ended up having to completely get away from denim. So it was a big article on how the skinny jeans ruin U.S. currency. So it was interesting to talk with these people. It went viral for a while and took a lot of hits. But I've got some articles here that you can certainly look at on that. It was funny. But that was very interesting at the time. But you know, the stories, traveling overseas, getting used to different cultures. I spent a lot of time in Turkey. I've been in Honduras, El Salvador, Dominican, Germany, Belgium, France, Holland. Traveled pretty much all over the globe looking for raw materials for the company and looking for sourcing. As things have changed in the United States, the spinning industry is gone in the United States. It used to be a real booming business, and we used to get a lot of waste from the spinning operations. Those have all moved offshore. Most of them have gone to China. So looking for raw materials to supply, which has to be 100% cotton, you need to look globally, and also to support our operation in Sweden. We have a large operation in Sweden, a paper mill that I spent some time over there working with those folks on procurement.
So what did you think you were going to be when you grew up? Did you always know that you were going to work at Crane?
Well, no, I really loved the outdoors, so I was very interested in forestry at the time. I really, thought that was going to be a big move. I wanted to get a 4-year degree in forestry and, do whatever I wanted to do. That was my dream. I wanted to be outside. I like to hunt. I like to fish. Paul Smith's is a small school, very highly rated in forestry. They own 15,000 acres up there, and it was a great place. But when I did my 2 years, I looked, and there was not a lot of jobs out there. Even if you look 2 years ahead, not a lot of great opportunity. So then I basically transferred into the business program at AIC, and moved from there. I ended up, when I was working for Crane, I ended up getting my master's at Western New England. Nights. Took me 5 years nights driving down to Western New England 3 nights a week. And then I had another night. Tuesday night was reserve night because I was in the reserves for 6 years. So, and then I had, 2 weeks in the summer tramp. So there was a lot going on. So it was busy for me, but I loved it. It was an opportunity.
What lessons has your work life taught you?
I think you have to be, as Donnie mentioned, you have to be humble. You have to respect people, and the people that I don't like that we just work for me. People work with me in my group, and that was really important. One of the things my father taught me early on is when you bring somebody in, you sit down with them and say, look, you have an open door policy in the office. At the end of the day, if you have a problem that you think is going to affect your home life, and take it home, with you, and it's going to affect your sleep, whatever, please come in and talk about it. I want to know. I want to see if we can resolve this before you go home. And I've had many opportunities where people have come in, and the problems usually are fairly small, and it's over with. And I think that was an important lesson. I would encourage anyone to do that, to have people that are working, when you're working with people, is to have an open door policy, have the day-to-day confrontations. It's easy with the emails now, where you can send a scathing email out and not see the person's reaction, And how often have you sent something out and you said, I should have pushed that send button, And I think face-to-face, most of my negotiations were basically face-to-face with people. It wasn't any email going back and forth. It was basically maybe confirming something, but most of the dialogue was face-to-face. When I was overseas or whatever, we'd basically do negotiating. And that was really important. So I think the dialogue is very important. Personal dialogue is extremely important. And also with your people, is that you have I've gone through, I think it's important. I've gone through divorces. I've gone through, pets being killed. I've been through, a lot of stressful things that happen in people's lives, especially a loved one dying. And you have to show a lot of compassion, because I think it's very important. That's in life. And you get to know your people. I think it's important to get to know your people. I think those are the important things when you're working with people, is to get to understand them, get to know them, and they appreciate that.
Was there a person that had a strong influence on your life, and tell me?
Like Danny, Chris Crane had a strong influence on my life, and his brother Lansing also, because I worked directly for Lansing. He was president of the company. But in 1997, I was on a trip going down to Memphis. I was just about to get on the plane, and I got a call that my father had a heart attack, and I just came back, and my father had died. And it was, he was up. Basically, I live not too far from this hall, I live on King William Road. My father was down there with another neighbor cutting some wood, and he had a massive heart attack. And when I got home with my mother, Chris Crane was at the door, and he was very compassionate. He worked with my father. In fact, my father taught him a lot about papermaking. And the other person was Lansing Crane, Chris's brother. He was president of the company in, I think, 1995, and I worked directly for him, and I really enjoyed the experience. He was very, very special in my life. He allowed me to do my thing, so to speak, to travel, to open up markets, and he supported those. Anything I really needed, he was there to help me, which was great.
When did you retire, or how did you feel about it?
When did I retire? I retired in May of 2014. It was 50 years of service. It was time to pass the baton to the new generation, and I think it was a good opportunity. My wife and I like to travel. We still have our health. I think it was, I had put in place a good perpetuation plan. The markets and such, people understood what was going on. It still continues. So I think it was important that I passed the legacy on to other people. And I think that was the best interest of the company at the time. But I have no regrets. I had a great run. I'd do it over again in a heartbeat. Same thing. Wouldn't change anything. I love my job. I love the people. I love the opportunity to travel. I was very fortunate. And I worked for a fantastic company.
What was the impact of your work on your life in your family?
The impact was I enjoyed every day. There was opportunities on occasion. There were places that when we were originally opening up some markets that were we opened up some markets in Honduras. It was a little shaky over there at the time, you know, and there was a concern in my family as, you know, what's going on. And when I looked at, initially in Turkey, you know, we were looking at what was going on. I've been over there when there's been, you know, stuff that's happened in those areas. So there was some, you know, there was some apprehension within the family, you know, whether I should go. I have two daughters, and, you know, and they'd look and say, you know, what are you doing? Why are you going over there? Now they're lobbing missiles around Turkey and Syria and the Iraq border. So, but I think the rest of it is all the other areas. There were just a few instances where things got a little dicey, but overall, it was the family supported me. My wife supported me. My two daughters supported me. I made a good living. I got to see, you know, a lot of the world. I said a lot of different cultures, and it was a special time in our life. On occasion, my wife would travel with me, and which made it nice. And but it's traveling is not what it's all cracked up to be. You know, when you travel a lot globally, it's hard now. Every day, it's the airplanes, you problems with flights, and you know. And when I go out for 2.5 weeks at a time, and do just an awful lot. You'd work on the weekends. You were go all the time, especially in this time of the year in the fall. Most of the crops are coming in. Cotton crop is coming in. The flax crop in Europe is coming in. 25% of the recipe for currency is flax. And I'd be spending most of my time in Belgium, France, and Holland this time of the year, and looking at the crop and dealing with whatever's going on. So that was a busy time this time of the year. They're flat out.
If you could do anything now, what would you do and why?
If I could do anything now, I enjoy traveling with my wife now. I enjoy our grandchildren. We have two girls, 5 and 8. I enjoy biking. I enjoy fishing. I enjoy hunting. I ski. I kayak. I just, you know, I love the outdoors. I still love the outdoors. I have a huge garden. I take care of a meditation meadow down on St. Helena's Church, not too far from Miss Hall's. There's a meditation meadow down there. I take care of 20 acres there. It borders my property, so I mow it, do things up. We've got meditation benches in there. So I really enjoy those types of things. I belong to the Linux Sportsman's Club. I enjoy people. It's special. But the family right now is, I'm able to focus more on the family and the grandchildren growing up. You know, they're all into soccer. You know, the 5-year-old and the 8-year-old into soccer, and they're, you know, going 100 miles an hour. So, which is good. Keeps me young.
Thank you for participating in the interview. Thank you.
Okay.